So let the questions flow. Anybody got any questions about anything?
I can ask them, how do people generally approach you with their violence? So, with a violent act?
With violence?
Yeah. How do they generally approach you?
It's going to come from all directions. You're going to get it from behind you, on the side. You have to have 360 words. People are not going to be right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
So generally you're dealing with a lot of people that are fighting, breaking them up. But to physically move somebody, that's the hard part. When you have to go in and break something, or when you physically have to move somebody out of the way, and you have to get a hold of him and move him. Once you control him, he's going to go wherever you want him to go.
Okay.
So no matter where he goes, you're going to latch on him. You're going to take him wherever he wants to go. He's going to go wherever you want him to go. But the hardest part is, and I was speaking to that earlier.
Why don't you want to hear this with you? Yeah, it's my turn.
Wait a second.
Most physical confrontations are going to start from them attacking. And Will had a great, when he was working earlier, if you're inside a facility, anywhere, if he walks by and he just bumps you, it happens all the time.
Right.
That's a threat.
Right.
If he comes by and he bumps you, you just lock up.
That's two shows, by the way.
Yes.
You got it. Rusty's it.
He's still out.
No, he's
He's all right.
How's it do?
dilated. Just relax.
We'll go
Okay.
slower. It happens. This is one of the quickest things to learn. What Will was showing is exactly what you used. That right there, you're just reaching out. And as you come in, you're just going to come right down. Lock in. Exactly what Will showed earlier. Just lock
Are you
in.
percussing or compressing?
Compress it. And as you bring
I think you just had a brownout a little bit. You get a little bit of lightheaded.
It sounds like you look like you on March 2018.
I felt mine coming right across.
You felt fine,
yeah.
but your energy got zapped a little bit.
It was
right?
gone.
Kind of.
I wasn't going to go anywhere. No.
Yeah, you didn't have any plans for the evening at that point.
And that motion can come from any direction. Just it can come from that strength. If he's throwing a punch at you, it's that same motion. You're back inside. That same position. If they're coming in to push you, it's that same motion. You're going to come inside, well, he's going to come back around the other way. If he's just coming in with a straight push, we're just going to come inside, back inside. And we're going to go opposite. If we can show it, we're going to go opposite. The closer you get to your wrist, the harder it is. Now he's taller than that, which is fine. I'm going to bring him right to you, and if I want to get ugly,
Well, he doesn't like the sound of
I
that.
have that 56, I'm going to bring him to the ground. But when I do this, I'm going to release this arm. Which I think I'm going to see what will happen. And we want to make sure he's still able to go back for tomorrow. Able to go back. Able to be able to go back to whatever he was doing. But if you notice that motion is still the same.
Yeah.
But from right here, when we latch up, I can move him down. But when I want to bring him in, can we practice this? We have time?
This is majority vote. What do you guys want?
Okay.
One practice, raise your hand.
If you guys do
Raise
this,
your hand.
if you guys do this, please release this because you do not want to be hanging on. You guys will feel this. If you do this from back here, you're not going to have anything. Run up closer, get closer into right in the stomach, and run. Come across small intestine and run. Just kind of.
I want to
run
point
right
out something that he's doing that is still there. He's laying his heart 8 point right on the triple warmer V, which is a division of energy in the arm. And when he lays it there, he now has his electrical energy running through there.
Can anybody see him rise up?
We call that a scissors.
Yeah.
I'm away from him.
Yeah.
All I got to do is do this, and I get him right back up on his toes.
Yeah.
But when you do this and you're going to latch him down, don't let go of him. In a real life situation, you would just hold on to him, bring him to the ground. Once he goes down, you can do whatever you want to do. But let's practice this we'll do it 3 ways. We'll do it from the bump, and be careful, because it happens really quick. Just come in, same thing, latch on. And you'll feel your gut. Right away, feel it fresh. Come at it from a punch.
His energetic connection, that, if I can point it out, is small intestine 3 and heart 8.
It doesn't.
There's several energetic connections, not just the one I talked about here with triple warmer 2. So that's another one, a small intestine 3, which is here at the base of the little knuckle, and right there, he's right on that. That's Nahanchi. Just right there.
Easiest way to control somebody. Same thing, come in from the punch, come up, and do the same thing. And then do it from that.
The punch. Or push.
Push inside here and run it. Punch or push, whichever you want. Okay, we'll do all 3 real quick. Okay?
Thanks, sir.
Okay, cool. Try it. Run around, help me. Okay.
Carmen brought up a good point. Herman brought up a good point. How can I use this? And you can use it from any direction. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. If it comes from a push, you're inside. If it comes from a punch, you drop that down and stiff it. You can feel that motion when you start. If it comes from a push, it's that same motion. That same motion. Step inside. You can move yourself in any direction whenever you want to move. And here's the best part. If you're thinking, he's going to come at me. I want to do this move. This is what I learned. This is what I want. And if all you think, he has to come at me with both hands for me to do this, he doesn't have to. Just because he's standing there doesn't mean he can't do that move. No matter where he's at in front of you. Even if he's here, and he just starts moving around, we can still get this move to where we want. Because we don't know what he's going to do. We have no idea what this guy is going to do to you. Even if we're here and he pushes to turn me around, that move is still going to be there. And you're locked on face. Okay? So never panic. If every technique that will show, every technique that everybody else will show, just because you're thinking it has to come from a punch, it doesn't. You can come full circle and still get back to what you wanted to do from the very beginning. Whether it was an arm bar, an arm lock, a finger lock. So he did come in with a punch. No big deal. I'll get it. Just take me a little while to go around the corner. Okay? Questions? Well, sorry I took my turn.
Okay. Thank you, Louis. Very good. It's always good to hear from somebody that's been using this in a real thing, because most of us don't have that opportunity. Unless we're a very loose moral character. I would, of course, not be out there doing that kind of thing, as far as you know. So, but at any rate, we went over to about the maximum time, I think.
Yeah, we're about as far into it as we can go.
Yeah. So we'll stop. I want to thank Master Snyder for having me out here this weekend. It's really great. And we've just been kind of playing around with a lot of different things. Everybody like what we're doing? It makes sense. Give you some ideas to play with. And come back tomorrow. Is everybody coming back tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
And we'll hit this a little deeper. I want you to be able to ask questions, but also and as a beginner, I want you to feel free to ask questions too. Don't assume that just because you don't know something that somebody else might not want to answer. Okay, you got to be real free about asking questions. Something minimal here. Just drag somebody else.
We're going to work on something really quick. We have very little time. Yes. I want to talk about muscle memory real quick. Everybody knows what muscle memory is. You're driving down the road, you went 10 miles, you have no idea how you got there. Your brain's still working, your eyes are still working, your hands are still working, but you may have no knowledge of what just happened within that 10 miles. You're still going in a straight line. It's the same thing with martial arts. Everybody here does techniques. If you look at all those techniques that they do here in Kimple, they have to memorize all those. Just the same thing as they got memorized How do I get those in here? And we're going to do this in a simple way. Just close your eyes. When you're doing your kata training, if you know you're starting here and you finish here with your eyes open, you should be able to start here and finish here with your eyes closed. Use everything you have to work. So this on this side. We're going to do a technique that Will showed earlier, but I want you all to do this. And all we're going to do is engrave it into your memory. And the easiest way to do this is close your eyes and let your brain take care of everything else. And if we're working, when you work, we're going to come up here, and he's going to throw that punch, and he's going to touch your hand so you can see it. So as soon as you're inside and he throws that punch, you're going to do the same thing, everything that Will just showed us. But you're going to, yes, I should turn around. This one, sorry. No. Inside, you're going to make that move, and you're going to come inside, and you're going to do everything that Will showed us, and then play with this. If I'm here, you can take it. You can take them. You can work with what you want. And as long as you know where you're at and what you're doing, you can still play with it. You know where everything's at. He comes back in. You're doing everything you want every time. The Hawaiian choke, my version of the Hawaiian choke is with one hand, because I can always have one hand open to defend myself against other people. With my back on, there it is. But when you guys do this, work on this motion and try to get yourself in a position to hurt somebody. Do different parts from this. Every technique that you learned here today, you should be able to do with your eyes closed. That's how you engrave it in your memory. Every technique, every technique, everything that you do should be engraved. Because if you're standing out in front of here and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do what Will showed. I'm going to pass that hand and I'm going to come under. Well, I'm here, and all of a sudden that hand doesn't come. I want this hand to come, and all of a sudden this hand comes. And all of a sudden, oh no. If you know that this hand's coming, you know where you can work. But if this hand comes all of a sudden, you don't need to be afraid that it's not going to work. As long as you guys know what the next technique is, what you're going to do. If your eyes are open, you're always going to know where you're at. But if you lose your eyesight, whether it be you're in a nightclub, somebody throws water at you, you're at the beach, somebody throws sand in your eyes, anywhere, somebody pokes your eyes. In some cases, people that work in different areas could get gas. They can throw liquid or worse stuff in your face, and you can't see. And when you can't see, you still got to be able to defend yourself. So even when your hands are up, and as soon as he reaches out to either touch you or grab you, you should be able to work with what you want. Okay? Every time. So let's get up, and if you guys remember try doing Will's technique, because I love that technique. Put yourself in a position, do it with your eyes closed, make sure you spread far enough away, and then try doing a throw out of that technique, and try doing different movements, and watch what your hands do. And you'll find yourself going back to your art. There's a lot of different martial artists here from a lot of different arts, but you'll find your position in going back to what is engraved into you and what you learn. Okay? Let's try that real quick. We only got like a couple minutes. We're running close up. We're running really close, so try this when you guys get back to your respective dojos, wherever you go. Try it. You'll find that all of a sudden you become stronger, more proficient, and faster. And if you're thinking of just one technique or one part of your kata, and you do it, and you just keep doing it over and over again, all of a sudden it's part of you. And it's moving the way you want it to move every time without you hesitating. Because 1 second, that little hesitation, he's throwing a punch and you hesitate, you're done. You can't hesitate. So when that punch comes, you're already moving, no matter what comes. Thank you.
Thank you.